The recent release of Jonathan Blow's The Witness has made the world of games erupt into several different conversations about puzzles, design ethics, and how much one should share about the game development process. A side conversation that's popped up is about the game and its relationship to Myst, the smash hit from 1993 that functionally created its own genre of game. While I haven't played The Witness, all of this Myst talk has got me thinking about the reasons that the game has been stuck in my head for 20 years now. The comparisons being drawn between The Witness and Myst have been around environment and puzzle design, and while comparing islands is definitely something I would love to do, the draw of Myst has never been about puzzles for me. Instead, I enjoy Myst and its franchise for its world building. I'm not alone in this. One of my favorite talks about games period is Robin Miller's postmortem for Myst that he delivered at GDC in 2013. Robin and his brother Rand were the chief design and development forces behind Myst, and at the end of his talk, he receives a question from noted game developer Phil Fish. This is the exchange.
Hi, Phil Fish. You followed me back on Twitter a couple days ago, and that made my week. I just wanted to say, I grew up obsessing on your games for years and years and years. I beat Riven without looking up any information anywhere. It took me a full year. The first video games I ever made were Myst clones in black and white hypercard, and then I spent years and years and years writing my own age books and really getting into world building. And that's kind of what I do for a living now. And my question is, will you please sign my copy of the Book of Atris?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, very nice meeting you.
What I think is wonderful here is that Fish isn't talking about the beauty of the puzzles or the technical design of Myst, even though both of those things were massive at the time of release. Instead, he is specifically talking about the effect that the game's world building had on him as a young player. I can say that I had the exact same reaction as Fish. As a child, I made my own description books where I designed worlds that would fit into the Myst universe. It was a huge creative force for me, and it has influenced the kinds of games that I make today. So this video is not going to be about puzzles, even though when we talk about Myst we're often discussing pushing buttons and turning wheels. Instead, I want to talk about how Myst establishes its video game world, and I think that it achieves this establishment through two different methods. The first is its characters, and the second is its environments. Myst doesn't give us a player character. We are ourselves, and after finding a strange book in a library or something, we are transported to Myst Island, a home base of sorts for a number of different characters. The opening cinematic of the game establishes our alien nature, but it also gives us the voice of Rand Miller playing Atris, the chief architect of the worlds presented in the game.
I've tried to speculate where it might have landed. I must admit, however, such conjecture is futile. Still, questions about whose hands might one day hold my Myst book.
He doesn't speak to us initially. We're not gently placed into the world of Myst through the introduction of our grizzled yet warm protagonist. There's no tragedy or initial act of violence. Instead, there's a mystery and a note. This is what Robin Miller has to say about the note.
It also showed us that there were problems with the story and setting up the game. We didn't have what I guess would we call an inciting incident. Like we put this note in the beginning of the game. It hadn't had it previous to this, so we added it, and it introduced people to this new thing we added, a door right by the dock, and a message from our main character now, this person Atris. And Atris now gives the player a message and sends them on their quest. So people, before this was added, people didn't know what to do. It was something like this playtesting, this kind of playtesting where Rand and I were directly involved for long, long periods of time, really gave us a lot of vital information.
It's a game design contrivance to clear up player confusion, but I cannot stress how much of an impact that note both had and continues to have on my understanding of how one can build a game world. It tells you what you need to do in a simple way, but there's the addressee Catherine, and there's the writer Atris. And why the signature yours? When you flip the switches and find the message, this is what you see.
Catherine, my love, I have to leave quickly. Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe. Most of my books have been destroyed. Catherine, it's one of our sons. I suspect Akinar, but I shouldn't leap to conclusions. I'll find him and Cirrus as well. Oh, I should have known better than to have left my library unchecked for so long. Well, I've removed the remaining undamaged books from the library and placed them in their places of protection. You shouldn't have to use the books until I return. But if you've forgotten the access keys, remember the tower rotation. Oh, and don't worry, Catherine. Everything will be fine. I'll see you shortly. Oh, wait, and erase this message after you've viewed it, just to be safe.
Catherine, my love is one of the most wonderfully delivered lines in all of video games, and I don't think I've ever quite escaped the urgency of that message. This is our first introduction to Atreus, and he's genuinely panicked about what his sons have done to his books. This scene, combined with a reading of the books in the library, provides all of the important world-building information that the entire Myst franchise rests on. The skeleton is generated with such efficiency that it's almost breathtaking. After reading the note, walking the island, watching the message, and reading the books, you have the stakes for everything that comes after. You know that you need to rotate the tower, you know that you need to find the linking books to different ages, and you know that you need to find Atreus. I think a lot of people would point to the linking books to different ages and the concept of ages itself as a keystone achievement in this game, but I'm not sure that I agree. I think that the narrative design of Myst Island by itself, absent the other ages, is so strong that the game would be engaging even if you never went anywhere else. The reason I think that is that I spent quite a bit of my youth never getting anywhere. I wasn't quite interested in the puzzles, so I read the books where Atreus described his journeys to the other ages that he had created. You see, the story of Myst goes something like this. Atreus is the last of an ancient civilization called the Dunny. The civilization was made of guilds, and those guilds specialized in a semi-magical technology where they were able to write a description book that attached to a linking book that took you to the world described in the former. Atreus learned this from his father Gin, and he tried to teach it to his sons Cirrus and Akinar. Both Cirrus and Akinar are comically evil. Both the written books in the library and the encounters one can have with the brothers really drive this home. For example, here's the first possible encounter with Akinar.
Cirrus? Are you? See you. Nah. Help me. Ring. Blue pages. Never. Just...
The brothers are trapped in these linking books, and one can travel to all of the ages of the game to retrieve the pages of their books, eventually freeing them from captivity. Of course, if you do that, they trap you there for good. Here's Cirrus doing that very thing.
Yes, I'm free. Oh, thank you, my friend. My dear friend, you've done the right thing. You stupid fool. It looks like perhaps you're in the book now. And what have we here? A page.
Oh no. I hope you enjoy your new home as much as I enjoyed it. I can't see you. You're getting less clear. I hope you're in the books. The library looks much the same as I left. Oh, I can Goodbye.
Despite the archness of these villains, there's something truly frightening about how they are constructed. As Atreus writes in his books, they are his sons, but much like his father Gin, they are driven to evil deeds through the power available to them through writing. When Atreus is panicked in the message to Catherine, he's being harrowed by attempted patricide. The family drama between Father Atreus, Mother Catherine, and sons Cirrus and Achenar give this glacial puzzle game a real sense of urgency and liveliness. When I played as a kid, I had a real worry that one of these characters might just appear out of nowhere to harm me or damage me, and that's a real fear that Riven capitalized on when it was released. These characters being present, yet absent, makes the entirety of Myst Island feel haunted, and it enlivens what could be a very dead set of computer models. It's the design of those computer-generated environments that helps cement Myst in my mind and the minds of others. There's something about the sunken ship or the starfield analyzer that is just so weird that you can't help but keep it lodged in there. The design of Myst Island is actually the most stapled together little kid playset imaginable. I mean, it has a boat, and a spaceship, and a tower, and a giant tree, and a clock tower across the water. It feels like the creation of a mind continually saying, and then what? And for some reason it completely works. However, when I say environment is crucial to the narrative design of Myst, I really mean something more than the space that one walks through when playing the game. I mean that the game creates a stable ecosystem for exploration across everything that has to do with the game. Myst creates a system of conditions of experience. This interview that Aurea Harvey did with Rand Miller at IndieCade in 2013 gets at some of this.
Yeah. Well, I find it interesting that you call Myst an architectural project because I found this picture online. Does that still exist?
It does.
This is the entryway to Cyan World's HQ. I mean, and it looks. Right. I mean, I'm sorry, but come on. Wow.
Yeah, that's the house that Myst.
I mean, it's the
right?
it's the aesthetic of Strata Vision or something brought into like real life. I just thought that was crazy, so I had to stick it in.
It was fun. That was probably the most fun thing about the building was kind of extruding that brick wall from the.
I just thought this was hilarious. It's really cool that you guys. I don't know. It's almost like you had such a commitment to the world that you wanted to make it like in real life.
Oh, we had a lot of money then too.
Charming.
I wish I had that money back for that thing.
Oh.
Do a few indie products like that.
How many games could you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
When Harvey says that the building does something to bring Myst into the real world, she's talking about how the environmental design of Myst can somehow make the leap to frame the experiences of our world. There's nothing that drives this home more than the novels that go along with the game. We can read Myst as a proto-Transmedia success, with the video game performing so well that it fostered some successful novels that extend and expand the story contained in the game. The first novel, The Book of Atreus, gives the backstory to Atreus and Catherine, as well as Atreus' family. Ironically enough, my copy of the book looks like it was almost destroyed in Atreus' library. It's stained with coffee, worn from reading, and paged over and over. As much as I've played Myst, I've probably read this novel, and its sequels, more. The environment of Myst overrides my experiences in the real world through these tactile book experiences, or even by recasting my experiences in other games. Take this moment in Dear Esther.
Dear Esther, the gulls do not land here anymore. I've noticed that this year they seem to shun the place. Maybe it's the depletion of the fishing stock driving them away. Perhaps it's me. When he first landed here, Donnelly wrote that the herds were sickly and their shepherds the lowest of them.
Ever since I played that game years ago, I can't help comparing it to this moment from Myst.
Catherine, my love, I have to leave quickly. Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe.
The core aesthetic of Myst and the conditions of its environment are so strong that I begin to write those arbitrary conditions into the real. Myst begins to define everything, and everything comes into comparison with Myst.
Who the devil are you?
If you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you really like this video, go down to the description and click the link to take you to my Patreon page, where for as little as $1 a month you can help me make more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.